Hi there and welcome to another of vMWare's tutorials. My name is Arna and this time I'm explaining how to migrate away from a Citrix XEN Server to vMware ESXi. So basically I was catched cold with that migration task without much preparation and ended up with an unhappy client because I was unable to migrate, and then I spent 3 days searching back and forth the whole internet to find a solution, and I tried every method possible without success. I wasn't even able to boot into the safe mode, which you can see later on in this tutorial, and I searched on various discussion boards and wasn't able to find anything. And basically what happened is that I was able to migrate the machine successfully, but upon booting on vMware the machine ended up in a blue screen of death. Nevertheless, of normal boot or safe mode, the machine just didn't want to boot, and I migrated it with every possible method out there and nothing helped. I uninstalled all drivers, all devices, everything I could find about Citrix on the machine, all drivers, everything, and nothing helped. And then I found out that I have deleted certain registry keys for the migration to be successful, and in this tutorial I will explain you step by step, as you can see in the video, how to successfully convert the machine away from Citrix. So basically at this moment I am showing a normal migration without any changes, just to show you the end result, what happens if you don't prepare the machine to work with the vMware ESXi server. And basically what happens is that you get a successful conversion, but you are not able to use the machine at the end. Upon boot, the machine shows a blue screen of death with an error message which appears for a blink of a second, and you can't even read what's written there. So there was it for a second, and now I will try to boot into safe mode and see what happens there. And again, that error message, again safe mode, boom, you will see the blue screen of death. Alright, so obviously the Citrix driver sits so deep inside the machine that it can't boot with those drivers still on. So now let's try and prepare the machine first for the conversion, and first and utmost important is to create a snapshot. If something goes wrong, you can always revert back and try again. Now let's uninstall that Citrix agent we saw before first. And then once that is done, and don't restart, we have to uninstall a second set of agents or an agent inside program files, which is actually not listed in a list of installed programs. You have to manually do that from program files and find the uninstaller.exe and uninstall that one as well. Now you may think, I have uninstalled the Citrix tools, now the conversion might be successful, but no, it won't. The machine still loads Citrix drivers. You will notice if you delete those drivers from the system32 folder, you will end up with a blue screen. So now we have to delete all the devices with Citrix drivers from the device manager, including the hidden ones that may appear. So basically go down the list of devices inside the device manager, find those with Citrix drivers and uninstall them. I don't know if the VGA driver is on Citrix, but just to make sure, I will uninstall that one as well. Now we will end up without network, but that's fine. After the reboot, the network will kick back in with normal Realtek drivers. Some devices don't disappear after the uninstall, so you may end up uninstalling the device twice, and that's just fine. Nothing wrong will happen, except you will lose some time, but do it rather twice than forget it. Like I said, I spent more than 3 days in agony researching how to migrate the servers away for a client, and all that waiting time between conversions almost made me insane. So this is the one I did twice. I didn't know if I have done it earlier, but whatever. So now let's show those hidden devices, and inside those hidden devices there might be as well Citrix drivers. In my case I didn't see anyone, but in your case there might be some of Citrix drivers as well, depending on the operating system you may use. And in my case I am migrating a Windows Server 2008 R2. Okay, and now let's go and restart the machine for the default drivers of Windows to be installed in place of those Citrix drivers we just have uninstalled. Right, the networking will be back in after the reboot, so we can migrate away. So after the reboot and the initial login, obviously the drivers have to be installed, and that will take some time. And then let's go back into the device manager and see which drivers we now have in place, and some will still be missing, which is fine. After the installation of vMWare tools, every needed driver should be back in. Right, and inside the network adapter we can see that the Realtek driver has taken place for the Citrix driver, and right, so everything seems fine for the moment. Now let's see those hidden devices again. Nothing Citrix to be seen, so we can go on with the second step, and that is to delete the Citrix drivers and the Citrix registry keys which are still in our way to successfully migrate the machine. And let me get IP address from my DHCP server first, so I am in my local network again. Okay, so now let's open regedit and delete those registry keys, and please make sure that you delete all of XEN keys you find in the current control set under services, And if you have more than one current control set, please check every current control set for XEN keys and delete those as well, like I will do in a moment. So this is my actual current control set, and now I will check current control set 2 and 1 as well, because those keys could have Citrix keys as well. So right, I have in current control set 2 Citrix keys as well, and please delete those as well. And now let's check current control set 1. No Citrix keys to be seen. Okay, that step is now done. Let's do the next set of Citrix keys, which can be found under HKey local machine control. Sorry, HKey local machine control class and you can see those keys which need to be deleted described on my website. You will find a link to the article on my website below this video to find exactly where those keys are, and please delete them like I do inside the video. So you don't have to search for the keys from the video itself, you can find them inside my article on my website, and click on the link below to find a description of the keys which are needed to be deleted. Alright, and now we can go on and delete those Citrix drivers from the System32 Windows folder, and nothing bad will happen otherwise if we didn't do the steps I described. Deleting those drivers would end up in a blue screen of death. Now basically we have done all the steps needed to migrate away, and we will do one final reboot now before the migration, just to make sure the machine does not end up in a blue screen if we did something wrong, and do not lose the time needed for the machine to migrate to vMware. So the machine boots just fine. We have done everything right. So let's log back in and start the vMware Converter Standalone. It takes a little bit of time till the machine becomes responsive again and gets an IP address from the DHCP. Okay, so there the converter is, and let's start the migration job. And basically you can leave everything on default, you don't have to change anything. You don't have to set up the machine to boot into safe mode or anything else. You can leave everything in default. You don't need to specify the hard drive as an IDE device. You can leave it as SAS and connect to your ESX machine. In my case it's a vCenter with one host. Specify your data store, virtual machine version if you like. And you don't have to change anything here if you only if you need to, or if you're unhappy with the default settings, but the machine will run just fine after the conversion, which we will see in a moment. took longer to convert the machine second time with changed drivers. So I have just fast forwarded till the end. It took several hours to complete, depending on your machine size. Please be patient, and I'm sure it will work for you as well. Now let's shut down this Citrix machine for good. And let's go back to our VMware client, and let's shut down that bad conversion as well. And now let's boot our new migration. Right, and I am already at the login screen. The migration job has run through successfully. I can log in. No blue screen of death to be seen, which is really happy news for me and hopefully for you as well. Now we can move on and install the drivers and install the VMware tools, which would give the machine a performance boost. You will see in a moment that the VMware drivers will take place for the standard Windows drivers for all important devices. The installation takes a moment till it's done, but that's just fine. Leave everything on default, or do it as you prefer, or do it as you are used to. I usually leave everything on default. And that's done. Now let's reboot to finish the driver installation. And we are almost done with our migration from Citrix XEN Server to VMware. And I believe this tutorial would also help a migration from Citrix Server to Hyper-V, because the procedure is almost the same. Once we have prepared the machine and unstripped it from the Citrix drivers, you can migrate to whatever you want. It should be successful. And now we already see a higher resolution in default mode. That's because the VMware tools have installed a new graphics driver, which we will see in a moment inside the device manager. Now let's double check all important devices are installed. Okay, the disk drive have now VMware drivers, the graphics card has VMware drivers, the DVD drive has VMware drivers, and so on. Everything important seems to be in place. The machine runs as it should. And that's about it. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow, and if you like this tutorial and it was helpful for you, please consider subscribing to our channel and help us out. So big thanks and cheers.